right now, and with a lot of the agents that I'm coaching, we are working on our business plans, and we have some coming with these amazing plans, and it's all of this stuff. And the reality is that, and Gary Keller will tell you that he's done this, it's proven through case study after case study after case study. If you give one activity a disproportionate amount of focus and time, you can meet your goal through that one activity. The challenge is for us is that our brain constantly wants us to have something new going on, right? We constantly want to have something new going on. And so we're in this battle with our minds around lead generation because we believe our brain believes that activity breeds achievement. And that is one of the biggest myths. That is one of the biggest myths, is that we believe doing some kind of activity during the lead generation, whatever it is, just doing something will lead us to a massive result. And the reality is that when we focus on the right thing, the one right thing, that achieves massive results. So listen to this again, what he says. I want to read it again. He says, if disproportionate results come from one activity, then you must give that one activity a disproportionate amount of time. But if we're focusing on one activity, we believe that we're not giving it enough time or not doing enough things. And so therefore we feel like we need to do more to get more of a result. How many of you have ever seen that work in your life? I mean, truly work. When you touch everything, you're looking for a result. 90 days later, do you get that result? And let me give you an example. Okay. Let's say for 90 days, you did a email and postcard program. Okay. You do an email and postcard program. And maybe you also do some stuff, social media on Facebook. Okay. Then let's say you don't do any of that. And what you do is you focus on having an event every single month for 3 months, which is 90 days. And you try to get 30 different people at those events that you actually have a conversation with. Now, maybe some of them are the same people that came to the event before because they really are engaged with you at a high level. And then you take all the information from that event and you actually put them on some kind of drip campaign and phone call follow-up program. Which of those at lead gen activities, the postcards mailing out, the newsletters mailing out and putting stuff on Facebook and social media versus 30 events every month for 3 months, which do you think is going to gain you more sales? It's not a trick question, right? We have to talk to people. Every lead generation activity must include a component where you are talking to people about real estate every single day. And it must be a disproportionate amount of conversation. Now, let's say that you had one event where you talk to 30 people, you get them to like your Facebook page. They're going to watch your Facebook page because they've met you, they've built a relationship with you, and they are connected to you. Guys, people are hungry for connection now more than ever. So if you want to blow up and have an amazing real estate business, then all you have to do is disproportionately tie your time to focusing on one thing and have that one thing be about connecting with people. So you could have an event and then you can go to other events, because guess what? When you have an event, many of those people may invite you to another event. How many of you live in a neighborhood? Raise your hand if you live in a neighborhood. Okay. Do you know everyone in that neighborhood? Why not? if this week you did nothing but focus on getting in touch and getting to know with everybody, getting to know everyone in your neighborhood, what would that look like?
Well, I would just show up for every event, at the pool, at the golf club, at the restaurant, there's so many holiday events going on, the book club, the euchre club. Just,
Right.
Just showing up is the first step. Showing up and introducing myself, right?
Showing up is the first step, and showing up and introducing yourself. Absolutely. Could you also door knock? Could you also make phone calls and introduce yourself? There are so many things you could do to lead generate in your backyard. And yet many of us say, what can I do outside somewhere else to lead generate? Nick, you just moved into a new community, right?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, so how many people do you need to meet in your community so that you know everybody?
A lot. I mean, I don't know how many people live here. Yeah.
A lot? A lot? My
Yep.
husband and I are moving to a new community. Now, many of the people think we're crazy because the community is a lot further out from Naples. But in 5 years, am I going to be crazy, or are my husband and I going to own that neighborhood of, I don't know, 15,000 rooftops? Why do we need to lead generate anywhere else? Right? So think about where you are in your own backyard and giving that a disproportionate amount of time. So when I get business plans, literally, I've been going through over the last 2 weeks, probably 25 business plans. And when I push that business plan back, there's two things I'm consistently saying over and over again. Actually 3 things. One, is your priority number 1 that you're going to focus on big enough to hit your goal? And if it's not, what do you need to change? 2, consider in every single one of your lead gen levers, which is your priorities, having a component where you are talking to someone, actually at least 20 someone's minimum, every day about real estate, if not 20, at least 10, right? And 3, do you know everyone in your own backyard? Do you know everyone in your own backyard? And if not, what plan are you putting together to know everybody that's in your community? And if you don't live in a community, what is the community you wish to know everybody? Right? And that will help you to think completely and totally differently, right? You will think differently. I want to make sure that you hear this. Lead generation can be fun. Real estate can be fun, right? But we're not in the business, we're not in the business, we don't say but, and we're not in the business of selling real estate. We are in the business of lead generation. Mm-hmm. And I had someone tell me one time, they said, well, why don't you change the name of it? Because lead generation sounds so negative. And I said, well, it's not lead generation that sounds negative. It's because we put ourselves through a contortionist torquing system to try and lead generate, instead of just saying, hey, what's around me in my own back door that I know, and how can I make this fun? I mean, if you sit down and actually put a plan together and build it out and say, okay, there is a system that's in this book right here that you all seem to go back to all the time around lead generation. And that is, you've got all of the people in the world, and they're called not mets. And your goal is to meet those people and put them into your funnel, right? You put them into your funnel. So once you put them into your funnel and you meet them, you put them on a automatic drip system so that you can set it and forget it. And then you call them once a quarter to follow up with them. That's the system. Okay. Not Mets to Mets, put them in your funnel, put them on a drip, follow up with them automatically, and then call them once a quarter. It's that simple. but it's not easy. And why is it not easy? Because we have to take the action to turn them from not Mets into Mets. So how you get creative is you say, okay, what do I like to do? Right, Terry? Renee likes to be social. She loves philanthropy. Janet is super social. She loves bougie events. Joanne, she has her thing that she loves, hang out with people or whatever it is. And this is my hobby. I love book clubs. Great. Go to your book club. Go to a couple. Join 2 or 3. Make that your legion and start a book club Facebook group. Do what? If you put a big system around that thing you love to do and you just do it and you do it every day, I promise you, you will fall in love with lead generation and you'll have a big business. And yet, the reason that we don't is because we mistake movement for achievement. We mistake movement for achievement. So here's what I'd love to leave with you today. This is another quote from The One Thing. And I hope you guys remember from last week, I said, we're going to gear up and start reading The One Thing again. So please read the first 2 chapters for tomorrow. Well, actually chapter 1 for tomorrow. It's not that long of a chapter, just chapter 1. Just read just chapter 1. It's not that long of a chapter. And you know what? Listen to it on Audible. If you don't have time to read, it's a great Audible listen. It's called The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Okay. Success is about doing the right thing, not about doing everything right. Success is about doing the right thing, not about doing everything right. Here's why any personality can succeed in the real estate business. Whether you're a chatty Kathy or a chatty Craig, or you are someone that is a little bit more laid back, you're a little bit more introverted. It's because when you set a system up around something and you let that system roll, you can be successful in real estate. And sometimes the folks that are more systematized actually end up having a bigger business and working less hours than someone who is super, super social. Because if you're super, super social like me, you get tired of doing the same thing over and over the same way. But those that are a little bit more introverted, they love doing the same thing the same way all the time because they love that. And they end up having a really big business working less hours. So think about the fact that your success is not about success is about doing the right thing, the one thing, not about doing everything right.